Alright guys, so I was thinking about the best way to show the patterns that I shot this morning with the 10 gauge. Couldn't really figure out the best way to do it, and I think you guys are probably more interested in what they actually look like versus how professional the video comes out. So anyways, these are the choke tubes I used. Right there, that one is the Jebs 695, what they consider a close range. I think once you guys see the pattern, you'll probably not consider it a close range pattern. I suppose if you're not a decoy hunter like myself and you're more of a pass shooter, maybe it's a close range to somebody like yourself, but definitely not to me. I hunt over decoys. That one right there is a Wad Wizard Terror 720. You know, that's one of the infamous Wad Wizard chokes. Supposedly one of the best in the industry for the Brown and Gold 10 or BPS 10. I think they're even rated pretty high in the Remington SP10s, but I didn't really research that because I don't own one. And then these guys here, these are all TruLock brand chokes. The first one's SK2, which is really a light modified. I don't know why they name it SK2 for their designation. That one there is modified, and then that one right there is an improved modified. I skipped out on a full because I just don't see the need for it. Improved modified's pretty tight as is. And the patterns kind of show it too, especially when you start getting to the real large shot like BB, triple B, and I don't really shoot anything bigger than that. But all I used for test subjects are my loads right here. And these are all, you know, my hand loads. I don't really shoot factory loads. Remington Halls, those are the best, unless you can get a hold of some Winchesters. They're pretty good too. CCI 209Ms, Fed 209As are fine as well. Steel powder, 41 grains. You can actually probably drop a half a grain or even a grain and almost get the same velocity, by the way. It's almost like that law of diminishing returns. TUPRW 105, that's a precision reloading wad. 1 5/8 ounce shot, and either 1 and B or 1 and 2. I always buy the zinc plated shot because the price is not much more, and I always put the larger pellet on the bottom and then dump the smaller pellet on the top. Now, there is the first pattern. Now, yes, it's off to the left a little bit, but I was trying to hold it by hand, and this is a Jebs 695. That's a close range of 40 yards. It's 1 and 2 shot. This is 30-inch wide paper, roughly 30 inches high. So I know a lot of people are worried about the 30-inch circle. As you can tell right there, that's probably, the core is less than about 1.5 feet, so probably 18 inches or so. It's pretty tight, little splotchy, and that's 1 and 2. Throw that to the side. That is 1 and B shot. I got it centered a little bit better. You could tell that core is probably a little bit larger because of the bigger pellets. But if you notice, it's pretty good. It's pretty dense. There are definitely some holes like right in there, but I mean, let's face it. That's, like I said, 30 inches wide, and that's probably about a 3-foot high sheet of paper. That's pretty tight for 40 yards, and I think that's one of the reasons it is a little on the splotchy side, is because you have such a tight constriction. And that is one heavy choke tube, by the way. Now, the next one is the Wad Wizard Next one is the Wad Wizard Terror 720. That is 1 and 2 shot. Now you could tell that's actually a pretty similar pattern to the Jebs. Kind of on the splotchy side, but like I said, it's 30-inch wide paper. So that's probably maybe a little bit better, but still not all that impressed with it. That small shot, by the way. It's not like it's the big stuff like a lot of guys are shooting with the 10 gauge. I use old wrapping paper. It's cheap. Now, there's the Wad Wizard Terror 720 with 1 and B shot. And I think that looks a little bit better, but look how darn tight that core is. Like I said, that's 30-inch wide paper. You better be accurate. So that's 40 yards. Yeah, nothing's going to get through it, but like I said, you better have your leads just right. So that's pretty tough, if you ask me, if you're 40 yards or less. And most of my shots, I would say, are 20 to 45 yards, maybe 50, and that's probably pushing it. 50 is really pushing it. I try to not do that. Now the next one is SK2, so like I said, light modified, and that's 1+2. That's looking a little bit better, still a little bit splotchy. It would definitely work. You know, at 40 yards, this would be more of a inside a 40 yards choke. Here's the same SK2 with 1 and B. Now that's got a lot of holes in it, but that is, like I said, a choke probably definitely under 40 yards. 40 yards probably is pushing it, I guess, for a light modified. All right, now there's a modified with 1 and 2. And that's looking pretty darn good. That's, generally speaking, the choke I run and the shell that I run the most. You can see that's a lot better pattern, and it's going to be hard to get through that. Like I said, that's a 30-inch wide piece of paper, and most people are worried about a 30-inch circle. So that is a pretty darn good pattern. It's kind of hard to see in the lighting, but that's pretty good. Killed a lot of birds with that combination. Right. Now, there is the 1 and B. You can see that's not a bad pattern either. Don't worry about these being centered too much. I was freestanding. It's a pretty decent pattern. It's not bad. Improved modified. 1 and 2 shot. That's now you can see you're starting to get a little splotchy, like the Terror and like the Jebs. I think it's because, like I said, it's that pretty tight constriction. This is 40 yards, so now there is the improved modified with 1 and B. This is a deadly late duck and goose load. I've definitely taken them 45, 50 yards with these stone dead. It's a really good pattern. So it is a little on the tight side. However, you know, if you're hunting divers or you know, birds are just a little bit on the shy side and you got to reach out to 40 yards or so, this is a pretty deadly pattern. Not to mention with those bigger pellets, you actually get some energy downrange. All right, so that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions regarding the patterns, just let me know. Like I said, these are all 30-inch wide sheets of paper. And hopefully you guys can see the holes in the paper. It looks better, I think, almost in person than maybe the video, but hopefully this helps. So, not 100% certain that those Jebs or Wad Wizard chokes are really worth the money unless your concern is shooting, you know, 50, 60, 70 yards and trying to poke them out of the sky or something. I guess if you're a decoy hunter like myself, it may not be the right choke tube for you. All right, let me know your thoughts.